the oils that we eat make difference. Getting more omega-3 fats in your diet, less omega-6 fats. So getting flaxseed oil is a great oil, unheated though. Macadamia nut oil is a great oil. Getting rid of those pro-inflammatory omega-6 oils like corn oil and soybean oil, cottonseed oil, pure vegetable oil. Those are very, very pro-inflammatory oils.
So I do a lot of cooking with olive oil now. I used to love butter. I love that whole Julia Child thing. And now, since I've been using more olive oils, it doesn't taste good to eat the butter anymore. It's just too rich or something. It just doesn't. I think I've gotten used to the olive oil.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think your taste buds and your palate does change. I mean, olive oil is an amazing food. I don't know if you just saw that study that was released in Journal of Medicine about the benefits of the monounsaturated fats, the olive oil, the nuts. It showed a dramatic decrease in heart disease, which is an inflammatory disease. These foods are eaten in the Mediterranean, and if you've ever gone to Europe and eaten the food over there, it's just amazing. It's like night and day compared to the food over here. So you definitely don't have to suffer to be good health.
It's delicious, and I do think that part of this is changing our taste buds and the way we, the way we think about and perceive food. And I walked in the door. This is true. I read this book. I was just away. I got home, and I walked in, and my husband and I, we got rid of the Oreo cookies and the fishies and all this icky stuff I personally don't eat, but my kids eat. And I just laid it out to them. I'm like, we are not going to have this junk in the house anymore. It's really bad for your bodies. And we have to get you guys eating more. And I've always got apples and oranges and whatnot, grapefruits in the house. But, of course, they go straight for the fishies.
Right.
So how do we do that? How do we get our, kids? You've raised your son since 12. I've been sort of not perfect about the organic stuff. And at one point, I really broke down and stopped doing all organic and got to the fishy point in my life. But now...
How old are your children?
Yeah. Oh, so I have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old stepdaughter who's got much better eating habits, by the way, than my kids. She's really great. She eats a ton of sushi and stuff. But my kids, terrible. All those Oreos.
I think it is hard when they're not raised like that, because then they feel deprived and it's fitting. I think if the whole family though does it together, I definitely think you cannot have it be something where the mom is eating one way and then the kids are supposed to eat another way. And I think really just kind of clearing out, maybe doing it over the 8-week period, like what we do in our programs, where it's like, okay, week 1 we're going to make this change, and we're going to start by adding more foods. Like we're going to add more fruits and vegetables. We just did a segment, not a segment. We did a demo at Williams-Sonoma this past weekend, and it was a fruit and veggie. I call it a no milkshake because it's one of the recipes. We have a whole collection of no milkshake recipes in our Clean Cuisine book, and they are made with nuts, because instead of using dairy, we blend nuts with water with a high-speed blender, and then you add frozen fruit, and then at the very end, you can add a handful of spinach or kale or cilantro, and it is amazing how delicious these no milkshakes are. You can sweeten them by putting whole dates in there. So instead of adding sugar, you add whole dates. And so we had kids, 3-year-old kids and 16-year-old kids and grown people, everybody coming up trying these smoothies, and they were amazed that there was no added sugar, no dairy. So in our Health and Body Makeover program, having people drink a no milk shake once a day is one of the changes we make in that first week, where we're trying to get them to eat more fruits and vegetables. So maybe just starting with your kids by something that really tastes good, that's super, super good for them, that'll kind of get them more excited about changing their eating habits. Because I think it has to taste good. I mean, if it doesn't taste good, nobody's going to be willing to stick with it long term.
Yeah, no, and it's really tough because, I love beets, and I can make a beet juice. In fact, the product of the week is the Breville juicer. I got it for my wedding. And I'm loving this thing. But, to create a juice that actually tastes good to the kids is still tough for me. I'm still trying to get into that space where they're actually pick it up and go, good, we'll go more than one sip, because pretty much so far they're like, take it back.
The smoothies actually do taste better in many ways than the juices, because the smoothies, you can sweeten them with whole dates. So if you try some of the smoothies,
that sounds delicious, actually. I want one right now.
Yeah.
So it combined with the food is also some working out, and you guys and I completely agree with this too. You cannot have a healthy body without moving around some. So how do you get people moving around? I mean, that's a big step right there.
Yeah, the fitness, I mean, actually the funny thing is my background is fitness, not nutrition. I learned the nutrition after my diagnosis, but I was working in a hospital wellness center as an exercise physiologist when I was diagnosed. I've been doing, I've been on the fitness bandwagon for years now. Like I said, I'm 36, so I've been exercising since I was 16. That's 20 years. But I just released a full fitness fusion workout video that goes along with our Clean Cuisine book, and it's 30 minutes. I think I've been into 30-minute workouts ever since I had my son. Mm-hmm. He just turned 12. I think having people focus more on quality versus quantity, because everybody's so time crunched, and to think that you have to commit a whole hour towards the hour, you have to go to a gym. Those are kind of the things that I think people, once they start moving around, it feels good. And exercise program should feel good. It shouldn't be something where you're dreading doing it or you're in pain while you're doing it. But I think if you can find a workout that feels good and that is time efficient and that doesn't require going to the gym, I think you'll be much more likely to do it. So that's what we try to do with the full fitness fusion, is make it a full body, feel good workout that you can do at home and it doesn't take all day. 30 minutes, you can even do it in segments, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. And if you just do that, you just commit to doing it at least 3 times a week, you'll see amazing results. Even like I said, you go to the website, you see the health and body makeover programs. Those are with people on our website at the top that says results, and that's just from people who have done 30 minutes, 3 times a week of exercise, and they just made one big dietary change a week. And then, of course, they add on. Like week 1, you do the more fruits and vegetables. Week 2, you change your oils, and so on. But your body really will respond in an amazingly short amount of time without a huge commitment to exercise, and definitely without the deprivation dieting approach.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the MS, have you had to scale back or change anything? Are you on medications, or has this affected that?
No, knock on wood. It's not that I'm opposed to medication. It's just that I haven't needed it.
Wow.
I don't know if you've had a chance to read the book, but my biggest health issue has not been MS. It was a congenital leg problem where I had to have a big surgery, and that caused hip pain, and that's been my major issue for years. It's fixed now, but the MS, like I said, I always knock on wood, because you're never cured with MS. You always have it. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have symptoms, then I don't really mind having it. I don't know about it.
Well, it's incredible what you've gone through, because you did. I did read that you went through a couple of surgeries, right? That it was horribly painful.
Awful. Yeah, the surgeries were. Everybody hears about the MS, and they always think that sounds like the worst. But the MS for me has been the small part of my health problems. My biggest thing was the leg problems, and there was nothing. I felt with MS, at least I feel with the diet, like I have more, control over it. Like I can change my diet, I can control stress, I can exercise. With the leg issue, there was nothing I could do to fix it. And it just wouldn't, I had to have that awful surgery where they broke my leg in half and twisted the top part, and then my leg didn't heal, and I couldn't walk for over 7 months. And I was trying everything. And that was when I got really depressed, because nothing, you're trying these changes and nothing's working. So I think, when people do change their diet and they start to feel better and they start to see improvements in their body, it's motivating to stick with it, Yes. And that's why I think people get such good results with our program, is that they feel better. They don't feel like they're deprived. They don't feel like they're really giving anything up. It's not like you have to count your food or, go hungry or measure portion sizes or anything crazy like that. It's just really about making more nutritious food choices. Mm-hmm. Food should taste good. Food should make you feel good. And that's kind of the whole approach we take with Clean Cuisine.
Well, it is a terrific, terrific book. I want the listeners to take a look at this on the web. The book is Clean Cuisine, an 8-week anti-inflammatory nutrition program that will change the way you age, look, and feel. And you can find Ivy and Andrew Larson on the web at cleancuisineandmore.com, which was our website of the week as well. So there's still a lot more to talk about. Stay tuned. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.